You know, most people are walking around thinking they know who they are. They look in the mirror and what do they see? They see their job title, their past mistakes, their failures. They see the limits that someone else put on them, or maybe limits they put on themselves, and they believe it. They truly believe that this is all they are. But let me tell you something right now. You are far more than that. You are far more than your circumstances, far more than the struggles you've endured, far more than the labels you've accepted. You are more than you think you are. Think about the moments in your life when you surprised yourself. Maybe it was finishing a project you thought was impossible, surviving a heartbreak you didn't think you could, or standing up when everyone else wanted you to sit down. That moment, the one where you realized, I did it. I can do this. I am stronger than I thought. That was a glimpse of your true potential. And if you've had one glimpse, why stop there? Why settle for a glimpse when you can experience the full power of who you are? Let me ask you something. Close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath. Think about one thing you've always wanted to do, one dream you've always had but never pursued. Got it? Good. Now ask yourself, why not now? Why not you? The problem is, most of us live small because we've been trained to live small. We've been told what we can and cannot do. We've been told what's realistic and what's foolish. And slowly, over time, we start to believe it. We start to think, I can't, I shouldn't, I'm not enough. But let me tell you something. Those are lies. Every limit you've ever believed in has been built by your mind, not by reality. And every single one of those limits can be broken. Here's a truth that will change your life if you let it sink in. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the story you tell yourself about who you are. If you tell yourself you're weak, you'll act weak. If you tell yourself you're capable, you'll act capable. If you tell yourself you're destined for greatness, every action you take will move you toward it. It all starts in your mind, and then it flows into your actions, and then it transforms your world. Now, I want to give you a simple exercise. Something you can do today, right now, to start unlocking the truth about who you really are. I want you to write down 3 times in your life when you overcame fear, when you achieved more than you thought possible, when you surprised yourself. Don't think too hard, just write it. Done? Good. Now, look at those moments and realize this. The same power, the same courage, the same determination that carried you through then is still inside you today. It's not gone. It never left. You just need to tap into it again. And here's the exciting part. Your potential is not fixed. It's not capped at some number or limited by your age, your past, or your current circumstances. Potential grows the more you stretch it. Every time you push past fear, every time you take one step further than you thought you could, you expand what's possible for yourself. And the more you expand, the more opportunities you attract. That's how extraordinary people who seem larger than life, live. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They decide and they act. Let me tell you something else. You've already survived things you thought you couldn't survive. You've already faced pain, loss, and failure. And here you are. If you made it through then, you can make it through anything now. You have a resilience inside you that is unshakable. You have a fire that can't be extinguished. And the only thing holding you back from the life you're capable of living is your decision to unleash that fire. Now, I want you to stand up for a moment. Yes, right now. If you're watching this, stand up. Take a deep breath, stretch your arms wide, and say out loud, I am more than I think I am. Say it again, louder this time. I am more than I think I am. Can you feel it? That energy, that power, that shift inside you, that's the real you. The part of you that is unstoppable. The part of you that has always been there waiting for the moment you claim it. Here's another truth. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. Growth happens when you step into uncertainty, when you take risks, when you choose to act, even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. Most people wait for certainty. They wait until everything is perfect, but life is never perfect. Life is messy. Life is unpredictable. And yet the most powerful people are those who choose action despite the chaos. They step forward anyway. And that's exactly what I want you to do today. Step forward, even if it's one small step, one bold move, one decision that says, I am claiming my life. I am claiming my potential. And don't wait for someone else to validate you. Don't wait for someone else to tell you that you're ready. You are already ready. You've been ready all along. You just need to believe it and act on it. You have greatness inside. It's you that the world has been waiting for. The world doesn't need your average. The world doesn't need your fear. The world needs your courage, your ideas, your voice, and your power. So today, I challenge you to rewrite your story. Stop telling yourself that you're limited. Stop believing the voices that say you're not enough. Start telling yourself the truth, that you are capable, you are powerful, and you are unstoppable. Step into that truth with courage. Step into it with confidence. Step into it with relentless action. Because the moment you truly understand that you are more than you think you are, everything changes. Your confidence changes, your energy changes, your relationships change, your life changes. And here's the final thing I want you to remember. This is your moment. This is your time. You are not your past. You are not your fear. You are not the limits that others placed on you. You are a force of possibility. You are a spark of greatness. You are capable of more than you've ever imagined, and the world is waiting for you to show up fully, completely, courageously. So rise, step forward, claim your power, live like you were born to win, because when you finally see it, when you finally feel it, when you finally act on it, you will know the truth that has always been inside you. You are more than you think you are. Most people go through life thinking they know their limits. They've been told this is as far as you can go, or this is all you're capable of. And over time, they begin to believe it. They live inside boxes that others have drawn for them or boxes they've built for themselves. But the truth is, the human potential is astonishing. It is limitless. It is not defined by your past, your failures, your education, or the circumstances you find yourself in today. Every single person has an inner reservoir of untapped strength, creativity, intelligence, and courage that is far beyond what they imagine. You may be sitting here thinking, well, that sounds great, but I know my limits. I've tried before, and I failed. And that is exactly why this matters. Potential is not about what you've done so far. Potential is about what you have yet to do, the possibilities that lie ahead of you, and the energy that you haven't accessed yet. It is like a seed lying beneath the soil. The seed doesn't know the size of the tree it can grow into. It doesn't know the depth of its roots, the height of its branches, or the impact it will have on the world. And yet, with the right conditions, sunlight, water, care, it can grow into something extraordinary. That seed, my friend, is you. And your potential is the sunlight waiting to awaken it. You have done things in the past that if someone had told you beforehand, you might have said were impossible. And yet you did them. You survived pain, heartbreak, setbacks, and challenges that seemed insurmountable. Every one of those moments was proof that you already have more strength than you believe. Every time you overcame a fear, learned a skill, or solved a problem, you tapped into a deeper level of your potential. But most people forget. Most people stop noticing. They forget that they've already done extraordinary things. So they settle for ordinary lives. They stop stretching. They stop pushing. They stop believing that they can do more. And that's why it's so important to recognize right now that your potential has no ceiling, no cap, no limit. The only limit that exists is the one you impose on yourself. Think about some of the most remarkable people in history, people we admire today. They weren't born extraordinary. They became extraordinary because they refused to accept limits. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb on the first try. He failed 1,000 times, and yet he saw himself not as a failure, but as someone exploring the full range of his potential. He didn't quit. He kept pushing. He kept experimenting. Every failure unlocked a new layer of potential, and ultimately, he created something the world had never seen before, and the same is true for you. Every time you push past fear, every time you step into uncertainty, every time you commit fully to a goal, you unlock a level of potential you didn't know you had. You've been doing it your whole life. But the real question is, will you keep doing it, and will you do it deliberately, consciously, and boldly from this moment forward? The exciting part about unlimited potential is that it doesn't just sit there passively. It grows when you nurture it. It grows when you take action. It grows when you choose to see the opportunities and challenges rather than the obstacles. It grows when you embrace discomfort as a sign that you are expanding, stretching, and evolving. You see, the world doesn't reward comfort. It doesn't reward people who stay in the familiar and safe. The world rewards courage. The world rewards vision. The world rewards people who understand that their potential is not just for them. It is meant to be shared, expressed, and used to create impact. I want you to consider something for a moment. Think about your life 5 years from now. If you actually embrace the idea that your potential is unlimited, imagine waking up each day with a clear understanding that there is nothing you cannot do, nothing you cannot achieve, nothing you cannot overcome. Imagine approaching your goals, your relationships, and your career with the absolute certainty that you have the ability to expand, evolve, and succeed beyond your wildest imagination. How different would your life look? How different would your energy, your focus, and your confidence be? That future is not a fantasy. That future is waiting for you. It is a choice you make every single day when you decide to act on your potential instead of hiding from it. And here's the key. Potential without action is just a dream. It doesn't matter how much talent, skill, or intelligence you have if you don't apply it. Potential is energy waiting to be converted into results. And the only way to convert it is to take massive, consistent, deliberate action. That doesn't mean every step has to be perfect, and it doesn't mean you won't stumble along the way. What it means is that you commit to using every ounce of ability, every spark of creativity, and every ounce of courage that exists within you. And every time you do, your potential expands even further. Every time you act, you prove to yourself, I am capable. I can do this. I can go beyond what I thought was possible. And that, my friend, is how ordinary people become extraordinary. Another important aspect of unlimited potential is understanding that your environment can either limit you or accelerate you. If you surround yourself with people who doubt you, who criticize you, or who are complacent, it becomes much harder to access your full potential. But if you surround yourself with people who challenge you, who inspire you, and who push you to be better, your potential grows exponentially. Your environment acts like sunlight on a plant. The right environment nurtures growth, while the wrong environment stunts it. That's why it's essential to choose your influences carefully, to seek out mentors, to learn from those who have achieved what you desire, and to immerse yourself in energy, ideas, and experiences that stretch you beyond what you think is possible. And here's something that often surprises people. Your potential is also tied to the belief you have in yourself. When you truly believe that you are capable, when you truly embrace the truth that your potential is unlimited, it changes your physiology, your psychology, and your behavior. Your energy rises, your focus sharpens, and your ability to persevere through challenges skyrockets. Belief is like fuel for your potential. It amplifies it, it accelerates it, it allows it to manifest in ways you could never imagine if you were skeptical, fearful, or hesitant. So I want you to take a moment and make a declaration. Say it in your mind. Say it out loud. Say it with fire in your voice. I have unlimited potential. I am capable of more than I think. I will push past fear. I will expand. I will grow. Repeat it. Let it resonate in every cell of your body. Because the moment you start to internalize this truth, the moment you start to live it, your life begins to change. Opportunities that once seemed impossible start to appear. Challenges that once seemed daunting start to feel manageable. Doors that once seemed closed start to open. And the beautiful thing is this: your potential isn't a finite resource. It doesn't run out. The more you use it, the more it grows. The more you challenge yourself, the more you push your limits, the more you explore the depths of your abilities, the more you discover new layers of power, skill, creativity, and courage that you didn't even know existed. There is no ceiling, there is no plateau, there is no final destination when it comes to human potential. It is a journey of expansion that continues as long as you continue to act, to believe, and to grow. Most of the barriers that hold people back are not real. They exist only in the mind. We live in a world where limitations are taught as facts, where people tell us, this is impossible, you can't do that, or you don't have what it takes. And over time, we start to believe it, we internalize it, we carry these self-imposed limits as if they were the truth, as if they were etched in stone, when in reality they are nothing more than stories. We've told ourselves about who we are, what we deserve, and what we are capable of achieving. These limits show up in our thoughts and our decisions and our actions and in the life we ultimately create. And yet the most powerful truth you can ever embrace is this: you do not have to live within those limits. You can break free from them. You can shatter them. You can redefine what is possible for yourself starting right now. The first step in breaking free from self-imposed limits is recognizing them. Most people don't even know where their limits start because they have accepted them so completely. They see themselves as just average, not smart enough, not talented enough, or not strong enough. And every time they fail or even think about trying, they assume it confirms the limit, when in reality, it is the limit speaking. These limits are often rooted in fear, in doubt, in past experiences where something didn't go as planned. And while those experiences are real, they do not define your future. They do not dictate the life you can create. They are simply data points that you can use to learn, to adjust, and to grow. Think about this for a moment. How many times in your life have you held yourself back because you were afraid of failing, afraid of looking foolish, or afraid of what others would think? How many dreams have you put on pause because the path seemed too difficult or uncertain? That fear is natural, but it is not your enemy. It is a signal. It is your mind telling you that there is an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to stretch, an opportunity to step into something bigger than yourself. And the moment you decide to act despite the fear, the moment you push through the discomfort, is the moment your limits begin to dissolve. One of the most effective ways to break free from self-imposed limits is to challenge your beliefs. Most people believe things like, I can't do this, I'm too late, or I don't have what it takes, and they treat these beliefs as facts. But beliefs are not facts, they are interpretations, habits of thought that we have repeated so often that they feel real. And the incredible thing about beliefs is that they can be changed. You can choose a new belief. You can decide that you are capable. You can decide that you are powerful. You can decide that you are unstoppable. And once you do, your actions will follow and your limits will crumble. Another key to breaking free from self-imposed limits is to take action that feels uncomfortable. Most of us have grown accustomed to staying in our comfort zones because it feels safe. But safety is the enemy of growth. The moment you step outside your comfort zone, the moment you take a risk, the moment you challenge yourself to do what you've never done before, your potential expands, you learn new skills, you gain new confidence, and you discover strengths that you didn't even know existed. And the more you practice stepping outside your comfort zone, the easier it becomes, and the smaller your self-imposed limits feel. Let me give you a simple exercise to begin breaking through your limits today. I want you to think of one area in your life where you've been holding yourself back. Maybe it's in your career, your relationships, your health, or a personal goal you've been avoiding. Now ask yourself, what is the story I'm telling myself that is keeping me stuck? Write it down. Is it I'm not good enough? I don't have the resources. It's too late for me. Whatever it is, write it down. Now challenge it. Ask yourself, is this true? Does this have to be true? Or is it just a story I've been repeating? Then write a new story. Write a story that empowers you. A story that opens doors instead of closing them. A story that reminds you that you are capable, that you are powerful, and that you can achieve more than you think. One of the most powerful ways to break free from self-imposed limits is to study the lives of people who have done what you want to do. Every person you admire, every person who has achieved greatness, started with self-doubt, fear, and limits. They had moments where they thought, I can't do this, but they didn't listen. They pushed forward anyway. They surrounded themselves with people who believed in them. They took massive action. They learned from failure. And over time, their limits disappeared, replaced by possibility, power, and achievement. If they can do it, so can you. The difference is not in talent. It is in mindset and in action. It is also crucial to understand that self-imposed limits are often reinforced by comparison. We look at other people's lives and assume they have it all figured out, that they are smarter, stronger, luckier, more deserving than we are. And in doing so, we further shrink our own sense of possibility. But here's the truth. Comparing yourself to others only strengthens your limits. Your journey is unique. Your potential is unique. The only comparison that matters is the comparison between who you are today and who you can become tomorrow. Focus on growth. Focus on action. Focus on breaking through your own barriers. Every small victory, every step forward chips away at the limits that have been holding you back for years. Now, I want you to recognize something important. Breaking free from self-imposed limits requires persistence. You won't do it once and magically become limitless. You will encounter fear, doubt, and resistance. You will question yourself, and old patterns will try to pull you back into your comfort zone. That is normal, that is expected, and the key is to keep going anyway. Every time you push past the resistance, every time you choose action over fear, you reinforce a new pattern, a pattern of courage, strength, and expansion. You teach yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. You teach yourself that your limits are not fixed. You teach yourself that you are unstoppable. Another powerful method to break free from limits is to visualize yourself without them. Close your eyes and imagine the life you could create if nothing were holding you back. Imagine yourself accomplishing goals you've only dreamed of. Imagine yourself speaking confidently, taking bold action, building relationships, creating wealth, achieving health, or making an impact on the world. Feel it, see it, and internalize it. The mind cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is real when it is combined with emotion. The more you visualize your limitless self, the more you align your actions, energy, and focus with that version of you, you start to embody the belief that you are capable, that you are powerful, and that you can break through any limitation. And finally, understand that breaking free from self-imposed limits is not a one-time event. It is a process, a journey, a commitment to yourself. Every day presents an opportunity to challenge your assumptions, to take bold action, to expand your comfort zone, and to prove to yourself that you are more than you think you are. The more you practice this, the more you strengthen your confidence, your courage, and your ability to create the life you desire Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory against the limits that have held you back, and it brings you closer to a life that is extraordinary, fulfilling, and aligned with your true potential. Life has a way of testing us. We all face moments of hardship, disappointment, failure, and pain. Maybe it was losing a job, going through a breakup, struggling with health, facing rejection, or watching a dream crumble in front of us. These experiences leave marks on our minds, our hearts, and our spirits. They feel heavy. They feel defining, and if we're not careful, we start to believe that these moments are the sum total of who we are, that our past struggles determine our future, that our pain is a label we must carry for the rest of our lives. But let me tell you something that is absolutely critical. Your past struggles do not define you, not even close. The truth is, every struggle you've experienced is simply data. It is raw material. It is fuel for growth, for resilience, for strength, and for transformation. And when you learn how to use that material properly, you can create a life far beyond what you ever imagined. Think about a time in your life when something didn't go the way you wanted it to. Maybe it was a project that failed, a relationship that ended, or a goal you couldn't reach. At the time, it probably felt like the end of the world. You probably questioned yourself, wondered why it happened, and maybe even believed it was proof that you weren't good enough. But looking back now, can you see that there were lessons hidden inside that experience? That even though it was painful, it shaped you, taught you, and prepared you for something bigger? Every struggle carries a hidden gift, an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. The challenge is choosing to see it rather than letting it define you. The people who achieve extraordinary lives are not those who avoid struggle. They are those who embrace it, learn from it, and move forward with greater courage. They understand that life is not a straight line. It is full of setbacks, obstacles, and failures. And the measure of a person is not whether they fall, but whether they rise, whether they learn, whether they refuse to be defined by what happened yesterday. And here's the secret. Your past can only define you if you allow it. If you continue to tell yourself, I failed, therefore I am a failure, or I was hurt, therefore I am broken, then you are giving your past power over your future. But the moment you choose to see it differently, to use it as fuel, to take control of your story, everything changes. One of the most powerful ways to stop letting your past define you is to reframe your experiences. Instead of saying, this happened to me and it ruined my life, you say, this happened to me and I learned from it. This happened to me and it strengthened me. This happened to me and now I am equipped to handle even more. Every struggle, every hardship, every failure is a teacher. The moment you embrace that truth, the moment you start to extract lessons from your past, you stop being a victim of it and start being the master of your life. You take the power back. It is also important to recognize that struggles are universal. Every single person you admire, every person who has achieved something remarkable has faced challenges that could have defined them. They've experienced loss, rejection, failure, and pain. What separates them is not the absence of struggle, but the way they respond to it. They respond with courage. They respond with persistence. They respond with a mindset that refuses to be limited by what has already happened. And that is exactly what you can do. You can choose to respond differently, to refuse to be bound by your past, and to take control of your story starting right now. Let me give you a practical way to do this. I want you to think about one major struggle or failure in your life. Close your eyes if you need to, and bring it to mind. Really feel it. Acknowledge the pain, the disappointment, the frustration. Now, I want you to ask yourself, what did I learn from this? How did this experience make me stronger, wiser, or more capable? Take a moment to identify the lessons hidden inside that struggle. Once you've done that, write them down. These lessons are your power. They are evidence that you are stronger than your circumstances, that you are capable of growth, and that your past is not your prison, it is your training ground. Another crucial element is to stop identifying yourself with your mistakes. So often people say things like, I am a failure, I am unlucky, or I am not capable. Those statements are not facts. They are interpretations. They are stories we've told ourselves because of what happened in the past. And the moment you start to see your mistakes as experiences rather than definitions, your entire perspective shifts. You are no longer a victim of your past. You are a student of it. You are someone who learns, adapts, and grows. You are someone who refuses to be limited by yesterday and chooses to step into the full power of today. I want you to consider this. The struggle you are facing right now is not permanent. The mistakes you've made are not permanent. The pain you are carrying is not permanent. These are moments, not identities. They are chapters in your story, not the title of your book. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can start writing the next chapter. The chapter where you rise, where you take action, where you achieve more than you ever imagined. Your past is just the soil from which your future can grow. If you nurture it with learning, courage, and determination, it can produce an incredible harvest. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is to stop blaming circumstances or people for what happened. It is easy to say, I failed because of them, or I couldn't succeed because of this situation. But the truth is, blaming others gives your past more power than it deserves. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you caused the pain. It means you are choosing to take control of your response, your growth, and your future. When you do that, you transform struggle into strength, obstacles into opportunity, and setbacks into springboards. Every great success story contains moments of struggle. But the difference is that those people refuse to let the struggle define them. They refuse to give it the power to shape their future, and that is exactly what you can do too. Let's also talk about resilience. Resilience is built in the fire of struggle. It is forged when you refuse to quit, when you continue to move forward despite difficulty, when you make a decision that your life will not be dictated by pain or failure. Every time you rise after a setback, you prove to yourself that your past does not control you. Every time you take another step despite fear or disappointment, you are strengthening the muscle of resilience. And the more resilient you become, the more you realize that no matter what happens, you have the power to continue, to grow, and to create a life that is extraordinary. Visualization is another tool that can help you stop letting your past define you. Imagine yourself 5, 10, or 20 years from now, having achieved goals you may not even think are possible today. Imagine yourself living a life that is full, rich, and abundant. A life where your past struggles no longer hold you back. Feel the emotions of that life, the confidence, the joy, the freedom, the fulfillment. When you connect to that vision, you begin to operate from your potential rather than your past. You begin to make choices that align with who you are capable of becoming rather than who you were. And finally, understand this. Growth comes from choice. Your past may be heavy, it may be painful, it may even feel defining, but it does not have to be. Every day you have the opportunity to choose differently. You can choose to let go of the labels, the judgments, and the limitations. You can choose to see every struggle as a lesson, every failure as feedback, every obstacle as an opportunity. You can choose to step into your power, your courage, and your greatness, no matter what has happened before. And the more you practice this choice, the more automatic it becomes, until you no longer think in terms of being defined by your past, but in terms of living in alignment with your true potential. Most people think that growth happens because they have the right idea, the right plan, or the right opportunity. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, or the perfect timing, and as a result, they stay stuck, they stay stagnant. They watch life pass by while they hope that something magical will trigger their transformation. But here's the truth. Growth is not a passive process. Growth is not something that happens to you. Growth happens because of you. Growth happens because of action. Not random action, not occasional action, but committed, consistent, deliberate action. Action is the fuel that propels potential into reality. Without action, dreams remain dreams, talents remain dormant, and life remains ordinary. Let's be clear about what action really means. Action is not simply thinking or planning or hoping that things will change. Action is movement. Action is doing something that challenges you, stretches you, and pushes you beyond your comfort zone. Action is taking responsibility for your life instead of waiting for someone else to hand it to you. And the moment you embrace action as the driver of growth, you unlock a power that is unstoppable. Unstoppable in the way that every step forward compounds, every decision to act multiplies, and every small victory builds momentum that carries you further than you ever imagined. Most people underestimate the power of small, consistent actions they think that they need to take massive, heroic leaps every day to see results. But in reality, growth is built on the accumulation of small steps taken consistently over time. Every choice you make, every effort you put in, every commitment to show up adds to your momentum. And as momentum builds, so does confidence, so does skill, so does mastery. The key is to start, to keep going, and to never underestimate the power of persistence. The journey of growth is like climbing a mountain, one step at a time, repeated day after day, eventually gets you to the summit. Without those steps, no mountain can be conquered. Another critical truth about action and growth is that action creates clarity. Many people avoid action because they feel uncertain or afraid that they will make the wrong choice. But the irony is that clarity does not come before action. It comes through action. You cannot know what works or what will happen until you try. You cannot discover your strengths, your talents, or your potential without stepping into the unknown. Each step forward teaches you, guides you, and reshapes your understanding of what is possible. Action is the experiment, the laboratory, the proving ground for your growth. Without it, you remain trapped in theory, in fear, and in limitation. Growth also requires courageous action. It is easy to act when things are safe, comfortable, and familiar, but that does not stretch you. That does not elevate you. True growth happens when you act in the presence of fear, when you act despite doubt, when you act even when the outcome is uncertain. The people who achieve extraordinary results are not those who avoid fear. They are those who take action in spite of it. They understand that fear is a signal, not a stop sign. It is a sign that growth is on the other side, and courage is the bridge that allows them to cross. The more you practice courageous action, the more natural it becomes. And the smaller fear feels compared to your potential. One of the most powerful ways to fuel growth through action is to set specific, measurable goals and then break them down into actionable steps. Most people set vague goals like, I want to be successful or I want to improve my life, but those words are too abstract to generate real momentum. Action requires specificity. It requires clarity. If your goal is to improve your health, decide exactly what actions you will take. What exercises, what meals, what habits. If your goal is to advance in your career, define the precise steps, learning new skills, networking, taking on projects, or seeking mentorship. Every clearly defined action builds progress, and progress fuels motivation. It creates a feedback loop where the more you do, the more you see results, and the more you are inspired to act again. Action is also the antidote to fear, doubt, and procrastination. Most people wait until they feel ready or until conditions are perfect. The truth is, waiting is the enemy of growth. Waiting reinforces old patterns, allows fear to fester, and gives self-doubt more power. The moment you take action, even imperfect action, you break the cycle. You gain confidence, you build momentum, and you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. Action transforms fear into energy, doubt into clarity, and hesitation into achievement. The more you act, the less fear controls you, and the more growth becomes inevitable. Let me give you a practical exercise to illustrate this principle. Choose one goal, one dream, one area of your life where you want to grow. Now write down 3 actions you can take today, no matter how small, to move in that direction. Commit to taking those actions immediately. Don't wait, don't plan endlessly. Don't overthink. Action is the spark that ignites the fire of growth. And once you take the first step, the next step becomes easier, and the step after that builds momentum until you're moving forward with unstoppable energy. Another important concept is that growth through action is not linear. You will encounter setbacks, obstacles, and moments of doubt. Action does not guarantee immediate results, and that is part of the process. Growth is messy, it is unpredictable, it is uncomfortable, but every step you take, every choice to keep moving forward builds resilience, skill, and insight. The people who achieve extraordinary growth are those who persist, adapt, and continue to act in the face of challenge. They do not let temporary failure or delay stop them. They understand that each action compounds over time, creating progress that is often invisible at first, but unstoppable in the long run. It is also critical to understand that action is contagious. When you take decisive, focused, and courageous action, you inspire others, create energy, and attract opportunities. Action generates results, and results generate confidence, and confidence generates more action. The cycle feeds itself. The more you act, the more you grow, and the more your environment and relationships align with your potential. In this way, action is not just a personal tool. It is a force multiplier that impacts every area of your life. One final truth about action and growth is that it is rooted in personal responsibility. Growth does not happen because someone else does something for you. Growth does not happen because of luck, timing, or circumstance. Growth happens because you take ownership of your life and commit to acting relentlessly toward your goals. The moment you embrace responsibility, you empower yourself, you stop blaming external factors, and you start creating internal momentum. Responsibility turns ideas into execution, dreams into results, and potential into reality. The combination of belief and action is where growth truly occurs. You can have belief, hope, and desire, but without action, they remain fantasies. You can act blindly, but without belief, you may give up too soon. When belief and action come together, they create unstoppable momentum. Every step forward reinforces the belief that you are capable, and every ounce of belief fuels more action. The synergy between these two forces allows growth to accelerate, expand, and reach heights you may have once thought impossible. Most people go through life waiting for permission. They wait for the world to recognize them, for circumstances to align perfectly, for someone to tell them they are ready. And while they wait, life keeps moving. Opportunities pass by, potential lies dormant, and greatness remains untapped. The truth is, no one is going to hand you your greatness. No one is going to give you the green light. Greatness is not something you earn from someone else. It is something you claim for yourself. It is a decision, a commitment, and an act of courage. The moment you decide that you will no longer wait, that you will no longer settle, that you will rise to your full potential, you begin to claim the greatness that has always been inside you. Claiming your greatness starts with belief. You have to believe that you are worthy, capable, and deserving of extraordinary life, and you must be willing to declare it to yourself and the world. This is not arrogance. It is not pretending. It is truth. Inside you lies an untapped reservoir of talent, strength, creativity, and resilience. You have been given gifts, abilities, and ideas that the world needs, and the only thing standing between you and those gifts being fully expressed is your decision to step forward and own them. Belief is the first step, and it is the foundation on which action, courage, and achievement are built. But belief alone is not enough. Belief must be followed by action. Every person who has ever achieved greatness took decisive steps to claim it. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for the perfect timing. They acted, they failed. They learned, they adjusted, and through relentless action, they transformed belief into reality. If you want to claim your greatness, you must act now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when the timing feels right. Action creates timing, and action creates opportunity. The smallest step forward, taken consistently, compounds into massive results. Every decision to move towards your potential chips away at fear, doubt, and hesitation, and every action taken in alignment with your goals brings you closer to the life you were born to live. Another key element in claiming your greatness is understanding your worth. Too many people sell themselves short because they underestimate what they bring to the table. They focus on what they lack, what they haven't achieved yet, or what others might think about them. But greatness is not measured by comparison. It is measured by contribution, impact, and authenticity. It is about stepping fully into who you are and bringing your unique gifts to the world. The moment you recognize your worth, the moment you embrace your value, the moment you stop shrinking to fit into someone else's expectations, you open the door to extraordinary possibility. A critical part of claiming greatness is courage. Greatness is not comfortable. It is not safe. It is not guaranteed. To claim it, you must be willing to face fear, uncertainty, and even criticism. You must be willing to stand up for yourself, speak your truth, and take bold actions even when the outcome is unknown. Courage is the bridge between potential and reality. Every time you act with courage, you reinforce the truth that you are capable of far more than you have allowed yourself to believe. And the more courage you practice, the more natural it becomes, until fear no longer controls your choices and confidence drives every decision. Let me give you a practical exercise to help claim your greatness today. I want you to write down 3 things that you have been holding back, 3 areas where you know you have potential, but haven't fully expressed it. Now, next to each one, write down 1 specific action you can take within the next 24 hours to move forward in that area. It could be reaching out to someone, starting a project, speaking up, learning a skill, or committing to a personal goal. Take that action immediately. Momentum is created through doing, and the moment you take the first step, your confidence grows, your energy shifts, and the world begins to align with your vision. Every single action, no matter how small, is a declaration that you are claiming your greatness now. Another element to understand is that claiming greatness requires letting go of the past. Many people are held back by regret, guilt, or shame. They carry the weight of mistakes, failures, and missed opportunities as if it defines them. But your past does not define your future. Every mistake is a lesson. Every failure is feedback. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, grow, and adjust your path. When you release the burden of the past and focus on what you can create right now, you free yourself to step into your power and claim the life you deserve. Greatness exists in this moment, not in yesterday, and it is available to anyone willing to claim it. Claiming your greatness also requires surrounding yourself with the right people. Energy is contagious, and your environment has a direct impact on your mindset and your actions. If you surround yourself with people who are negative, doubtful, or complacent, it will be harder to step into your power. But when you align yourself with those who challenge you, inspire you, and support your growth, your potential multiplies. Seek mentors, coaches, and peers who elevate you. Learn from those who have achieved what you desire. Immerse yourself in energy that motivates, uplifts, and propels you forward. Your environment can either limit you or amplify your greatness, and the choice is yours. Visualization is another powerful tool to claim greatness. Close your eyes and imagine yourself living the life you desire. See yourself achieving goals that may seem impossible today. Feel the emotions of success, confidence, and fulfillment. Connect to the image of yourself as someone who has stepped fully into their potential. Visualization is not a replacement for action. It is fuel for it. When you vividly imagine the life you want, your mind and body begin to align with that reality. You start making decisions, taking actions, and creating circumstances that match the vision in your mind, accelerating your journey toward greatness. Another crucial aspect of claiming greatness is contribution. Greatness is not just about personal success, it is about impact. The people who leave a lasting legacy are those who use their gifts to make a difference in the lives of others. Your talents, your skills, your ideas, and your energy are not just for you, they are meant to be shared. When you focus on creating value, serving others, and contributing to something bigger than yourself, your greatness expands exponentially. Impact creates meaning, and meaning fuels motivation, energy, and purpose. Every action you take to uplift others is a step toward claiming your fullest potential. Finally, claiming your greatness requires persistence and commitment. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. The world may resist your rise. Fear may whisper in your ear, but the difference between those who achieve extraordinary success and those who do not is persistence. The refusal to quit, the refusal to settle, and the willingness to keep going no matter what. Every time you persist, you reinforce your belief in yourself, build resilience, and demonstrate to the world and to yourself that you are capable of extraordinary things. The more you commit to showing up fully, the more your greatness becomes undeniable, unstoppable, and inevitable. Claiming your greatness is not a someday project. It is not something that will happen when conditions are perfect or when someone gives you approval. It is a now project. It is a decision. It is a choice. It is the act of stepping fully into your potential, embracing your value, taking courageous action, and creating the life you were born to live. The world does not need you to wait. It needs you to rise. It needs you to speak. It needs you to act. It needs you to claim your greatness. Because there is nothing more powerful than a person fully stepping into their power and living without limits.